Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome tonight to the White Wave Views broadcast, the WWVB, coming to you tonight from Auckland, live, New Zealand, presented by the Pakeha Queen. That's me. Good evening, everybody. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about mass immigration in New Zealand, particularly focusing on the Indian mass migration that we have experienced here in New Zealand and how we are coping with it. Now, most people should know by now, and if you don't, I do my lives and I talk about the worldwide war on whites and Christians and how that is being played out here in New Zealand as an imported culture war that we really don't need. We had a great country once, we were all happy together, we've always been multicultural. In the early days it was Māori and Pakeha, and we all got along well together. After we fought some domestic and foreign wars, we got it right. And we had about 4 golden decades from 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s, and then something went wrong. Now, tonight I'm going to be talking about this document here, which is the Indian community in New Zealand and their e-directory. So as you can see, the content, which I will be skimming through with you tonight, has got the Indian associations and socio-cultural organisations. It has Indian dance and music schools, Indian language schools, places of worship, spiritual organisations, and the Indian ethnic media. So this is what I'm going to be skimming through, and it's going to give you a really good idea and awareness of how the Indian People's Network is functioning in New Zealand, how they're funded, who's funding them, and what are their services. So, a disclaimer before I start, this is not a racist episode, okay? Pakeha are not racist against anybody, and we've never protested, we've never rebelled against the Crown, and we've never protested against any ethnicity in this country, but we have been a silent majority in what's been happening to our country, that we see our heritage being eaten away, fading away, not being funded. We're not being acknowledged as native Pakeha. We're getting lost in a sea of multiculturalism, and we think that, the social experiment side of it hasn't really worked very well. And we believe that the government and other cultures, including Māori and Islanders, which we've been living with for 200 years, that you all need to start working together with Pakeha. Okay, I've been talking about forming an organisation, a corporate organisation for native Pakeha, white New Zealand Europeans, whatever you want to call yourself. We go by the Pakeha title because it has legal weight, and we're going to be filing some cases because we have had a lot of trouble with the history and the treaty being revised and rewritten and argued about. So that's mainly what I do focus on, the culture war between the colonists and the tribalists, and how it's really ramping up and heating up, and how we as Pakeha are coping with that persecution and feeling like our voices aren't being heard. Everybody else is crying out about how they're marginalised, but we're also feeling marginalised in a lot of ways too. And we want to make other cultures understand how we're feeling, if it's all about fairly these days, that we feel with all these agendas that have come in, we're feeling like we need to fit in better, okay? And we want to have cohesion, more assimilation and integration with other cultures. We've always loved other cultures, but what we're feeling is that, particularly the Indian culture, they are a well-funded, well-oiled machine that seems to have become a little bit too self-serving, self-centered, A lot of the funding that they get has requirements and prerequisites that you need, if it's cultural funding, that you need, should be using it to advance your culture here, but also those cultural projects should be about cohesion, integrating with New Zealanders and Kiwis. People like Pakeha, we are the majority here, and we would like to see the Indian business network consider us, especially in employment and that sort of thing, and try and just connect with the Pakeha people and understand who we actually are. We are having a renaissance and a resurgence and like a bit of a revolution. So this is why this movement has started. We've got some negative things to talk about and we've got some positive things to talk about. So I'm going to be skimming through that. Now before I do, I just wanted to explain that what we're coping with is we've got communities within a society, and all of those communities have been catered for by the government. They've been funded, and they're quite happy doing their own thing. They're all being employed, and we're looking at it thinking, wait a minute, we've got to adapt to this somehow. Okay, we feel like that we've had a bit of a bad rap concerning, the defamation and shaming and blaming colonialism and all that sort of thing, and that needs to stop. Okay, because if we do want unity and cohesion and our Maori friends back and people to work with us, then we need to form a council and get organised, and so we can start interfacing with not only other ethnicities but the Crown, because we've got grievances too, past and present, and we're having a problem having our voice heard. We don't have Pakeha TV, a tribunal, or tribes and clans. We kind of left that all behind and just moved into an integrated society with the Maori Islanders and a lot of other ethnicities that were here at the time, all just doing their thing to make New Zealand great. Okay, so we want to get back to that, back to the good old glory days, we call them. That's what we call them. We want to showcase our colonial. Okay, everybody else is celebrating their culture and their festivities and how rich they are and all of that. Well, we want to celebrate us too. We don't want all the negative keep being told about us, okay? So, this is what we're working towards, and tonight, but I'm going to talk about that we are concerned, and it's not racism, it's concern. We're concerned about, you come to our country and you love the way it is, and we don't want that to change. And we all have to be watchers on the wall and keep an eye on whether any of that's going to be disrupted by other threats that can be created internally with other very different cultures and very different religions and very different world views that are coming in and living as neighbours. So we have to be very wary that we keep New Zealand nice and safe and peaceful and friendly, okay? We don't want to be left out of the mix when you have cultural festivals and we see that there's really no representation of us in a strong way, so we can sort of waft our essence there as well. So this is what we're looking for. I do question whether these Indian organisations that have been created that are mainly on the New Zealand taxpayers and funded by New Zealand in various ways, whether they are reaching the criteria of what they're doing. Is anybody monitoring what they're doing with that money? Because there is a lot of money going into the Indian cultural development here and migrant development. The worry is that there's such a lot of organisations that seem to be doing the same thing. And do they need that many? Because even though most of them are non-profit organisations, they're coming under the umbrella of charity or helping their culture cope when they come here. And that's all well and good, that's fine, but what happens is every time you set up an association or a trust or a society, you're having to employ a whole lot of people to manage that. And all of those things that are branching from that umbrella, there's got to be people that have salaries paid. So I'd like to find out, how much, calculate how much of that funding is going to just salaries and making some Indian people rich, if you know what I mean. I mean, this is happening across all cultures. I'm not saying it's just Indian. I'm just using the Indian community that's come here, they're quite large, as an analogy and an example of how we have to adapt to this and how we have to have a connection with these people to make sure that everything rocks along well. We don't want to be left out. This also applies to Asians, Maori, Islanders and other minority ethnicities here, like I just said. Okay, you know, because there's been a lot of negative things being told about our past as colonials, I think the ethnic people might be a little bit afraid of us. Maybe that's why they don't employ us, because they've had the dark seed implanted in their mind. They're, you know, not quite sure about us. You know, and they hear us complaining now, and they probably still think we're whinging problems or something. You know, so it's developing that connection, but also making them aware, because if they're not aware of what the majority of people are seeing happening to our country, it's not going to be sustainable for them. It might be for some years, but beyond that it's not going to be sustainable, because we're going to be voting people out or voting a government in that's going to deal with these things that we're concerned about, because it's all running away from us because we don't have a voice. The Maori people have reserved free seats in Parliament. I don't know if the Indian community know that, but they have reserved seats in Parliament. They don't have to get the 5% threshold. But we don't have a Pakeha party in government. We don't have Te Pāti Pakeha. So we haven't been able to really stop a lot of these destructive policies happening. And so we're looking at getting our voice heard more on the political level, in the media, and also showcasing musicality and drama and dance, which the Indian people love too. They love their dance and their Bollywood and all that. I've got some playing in the background here, some Bollywood music, because I love it. I used to be a dancer. I was trained in classical ballet, and I'm a singer and an author as well. I've sung in bands. I play a bit of guitar sometimes, but I'm not really a musician. I'm a vocalist, and I'm going to be getting back into that soon. So maybe we could do a Bollywood thing together. So that would be cool, going out in solidarity with the Indians tonight as I talk about our concerns about them, particularly in the business network. Why is that? Oh, I've got to dismiss that. That's just annoying me, that little box. I don't want your tips. Go away. Okay, the Indian Community e-Directory. Now, hold on a minute. Before I get to that, I've forgotten a couple of things. So yes, I wanted to say about our Pakeha movement that is being born out of concerns and a need and some form of oppressed inequality that we're starting. We don't want that to grow, okay, because we've done a lot of hard work in this country, and we don't want to be on the bottom of the list anymore, with this idea that we're somehow born privileged, you know, that we've generated wealth off stolen land and all of those horrible things that get bandied around the world with all the tribal and indigenous people. It's nasty racism to us, and we want to combat that. We just don't want to hear it anymore, because like I said, it's not going to be sustainable for anybody to come against the Pakeha Christians. Okay, you're going to have trouble. We've never risen up before, but we're tribing up now, and we're coming after you. Okay, this is all across the board. Anybody that's speaking against us in our history and how we broke the treaty or whatever, or we're not honouring it. This has all got to stop, because it's not going to be sustainable for it to carry on. Because when we get our power back, which we will, we're going to have policies changed and things are going to be reversed, and people are not going to like it. So you either be friends with us, or you continue defaming, shaming and blaming us. Okay, it's your choice. You work with us, or you don't. Okay? Because we're all together in this, apparently. We don't want to see nepotism and cronyism in our country. It's never been here. It's not our Kiwi culture. Okay? We don't want to see any ethnicity functioning as with structural racism, because it's just cutting other people out. That's not being inclusive and diverse. That is just self-serving your own. Okay, so I'm going to prove that in a minute by skimming through the e-directory. That, you know, I think that this could possibly be dangerous for the equality, diversity and inclusivity in New Zealand, if that's what you think we need. If ethnicities come in here and they only self-serve and they don't assimilate and mix in with everybody and learn from each other, then you've got separatism and apartheid, where some people get rights and other people don't. Some people get lots of funding, other people don't get any. And it becomes a runaway train where people get missed out, and we're feeling like we're being missed out. Our colonial institutions are being taken over, and we're seeing our ways of life be swept away. Okay, they're just not important to anybody anymore, but they are important to us. Okay, so we need you to know that. We don't want any national origin discrimination going on in the employment sector. Okay, it's all very well to set up trusts and non-profit organisation and charitable trusts, but you can't use them to pay the managers and the people that run it high salaries just so only a few people get rich and the others don't get much. They get a little bit of cultural funding every now and then, and that's it. So we've got to be careful about how many of these organisations are being set up. I mean, there's at least 200 that I've got in this folder right here, and from them branches out other things, so it's like a web, like a pyramid. And the people at the top are taking salaries from this funding. You know, if they're so interested in dotting the T's and crossing the I's of having all the little bits of their culture ducks in a row, then why did they leave India? That's one question I ask. Why did they come here and leave India? How many refugees are in India? Are they having a war? Or sometimes I question the label of refugee. Are they really refugees, or is there some kind of great replacement going on? Because what happens is, if the government isn't transparent, they don't listen to the majority of the people. If the Indian people don't connect with the Pakeha community, then what's going to happen is then groups are going to form, conspiracy theories are going to be born, people are going to get angry, they're going to get upset, and they're going to start wanting to pull away from everybody and create their own tribe, which is what we have had to do. We've got no choice. Never done it before, okay? So if you called us racist for the last 50 years, you ain't seen nothing yet. We're just going to be all about ourselves if this doesn't stop. Okay, so that can be detrimental to other ethnicities, okay? If we start self-serving and doing what you're doing, that would be considered completely. But, you know, we're rolling with it because we're adapting. We have to. We've got no choice but to tribe up and clan up and help each other get employed, because we're not getting employed. We're not. There's backdoor employment schemes. There's this kind of network going on. Okay, so the white people aren't included in that. That's not cohesive and assimilating. You're getting funding for actually creating a hive mind in each temples and that sort of thing. I don't even think I need to really explain that. But there's an economic threat that we have. This is not imaginational racism. It's the first time we've ever thought that we as Pakeha need to band together. Okay, so it's all coming out of this, which I'll get on to in a minute. I've just got a few more notes here that I was going to say. Oh yes, another question. Does New Zealand need to break itself up into cultural regions like God did with the people when he destroyed the Tower of Babylon? He confounded everybody with a different language, and he sent them off, and he created boundaries for them. And the reason why God did that is because the cultures clashed, people couldn't understand the language, and so basically each of those races got a nationality. Okay, so that is what we have. We only have a nationality. According to the Bible, I'm speaking from a Christian perspective now, which is the Pakeha cultural faith. I don't call it a religion. And I'm not affiliated with the church, and the Pakeha movement is not affiliated with any particular church at all. But it is a Protestant movement, okay, which is against religions and slavery in religious circles with doctrine and that sort of thing. So Christianity to me is it's a faith of freedom. It's humanitarian, it's evangelical, and we do want to help people, but we do help people a lot. We do, here and all around the world. But there comes a time when it starts to feel like you're being used and abused, you know what I mean? And we have to draw a line. So, do we need to break up into cultural regions in New Zealand? It seems like in Auckland here, it's quite a vast city, and there are areas where other ethnicities seem to conglomerate, okay? And therefore, if there's a lot of Asian people living in that area, they'll have a lot of Asian stores and maybe some decor around the street and lots of shops that cater to Asian people. So we're starting to get these ethnic communities within one big society. And we want to become part of that and showcase our good and exciting and great and remind people of the greatness of our history instead of thinking that we did something bad. We want to tell the greatest story that's never been told, and we will, and we're going to do it through a creative team as well. So, yeah, a little bit of news what happened recently relating to what I'm talking about was that there was an election in Auckland, and apparently the Indian votes were just extremely high and they got in. Okay, so it's not racism, it's just like, well, hold on a minute, that's not diversity and inclusivity when you're only having Indians. It's like, this needs to be addressed, and this is why I'm addressing it. So I'm going to skim through the Indian Community e-directory, which I've already done today. I already did it, and it took me a while, but I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible. And I'm sorry if this is too long for you, but this needs to be said, and it needs to be said well, and it needs to be pointed out. So if I go on for another half an hour, so be it, okay? So there's a preface here, and it's just introducing to the e-directory for the Indian community. Okay, so it starts with Indian, I got it all printed out, okay? Indian associations and socio-cultural organisations, and this is where it starts. Just gives you an idea of what I'm going to be skimming through and reading from. Okay, so it starts with the New Zealand Indian Central Association, and the objectives of the association are: NZICA provides a central channel for Indian communities to voice concerns, and together with other member communities, join as a collective force. Through this unity, we can make a difference for our families and communities. We provide a link between Indian communities around New Zealand to exchange information on matters of common interest that they may conserve, promote, and advance generally the interests, welfare, and status of Indians in New Zealand. Okay? So that's a central one. There's been Indian associations being set up here for the last 100 years, but it's been particularly increasing in the last 10 years, okay, since we've had this mass immigration. So there's more funding and more funding. We're just about bankrupt. The next one is the Auckland Indian Association. So they've got regional ones as well. The Auckland Indian Association is working towards Mahila Samaj, whatever that is. Business Subcommittee, Senior Citizens, Sri Radha Krishna, Mandir Gandhi Guru Gujarati School. Okay, they're getting funding and that's what they're doing with it. Okay. What's the next one? The next one is the Auckland Malayali Summer Jam. The Summer Jam, that was funny. I'm not making a mockery of them at all. I'm just making you aware of how the Indian community is organising themselves. And this is what we need to do as Pakeha as well. So the Auckland Malayali Summer Jam, the aim of the Summer Jam is to promote, preserve and nurture the special culture and linguistic heritage the Malayalis, I don't know how to say it, I hope I'm not saying it wrong, and also to foster contacts and friendship among the Malayalis in Auckland and other parts of New Zealand, and enrich the diverse cultural fabric of New Zealand with the best Malayali traditions. We also have Malayalam classes to keep the younger generation of the diaspora living here abreast of our mother tongue. Okay, so this is basically the crux of what they're doing. Okay, so, you know, they are all about their culture, very much so, keeping it alive and all of that sort of thing while they're living in New Zealand. Okay, so they want to do it as much as they can, enrich the diverse cultural fabric. So they're saying they're coming here and they're enriching the whole fabric of us. Okay, so this is what they're saying. The next one is Auckland Marathi Association. AMA is a place to share a cultural identity and celebrate festivals and occasions. Second generation Kiwi Indians of Marathi parents contribute to activities. Okay, so they're just constantly connecting all the Indians when they come here. So when the Indians come here, they haven't got a problem. Boom! They're into the community and the machine of the Indian Empire. Okay, this is why they come flooding here, because they've already been set up with their own little nation within our nation. Okay, so they've got a good head start. The next one is the Auckland Tamil Association. This seems to be quite popular, the Tamil language. To promote Tamil and wider Indian cultural awareness and engagement through festivals and regular events. To provide a social platform for Tamil communities and other communities in Auckland to engage and network across New Zealand. You see, okay, they're all about themselves, to promote the Tamil, okay, the festivals, provide social platform for Tamil communities, and then they say, and other communities. Okay, which is supposed to mean everybody else, including us, Pakeha. It's just sort of thrown in there as if they're doing something with us as well. I've never even heard of them, to be honest. And other communities in Auckland to engage and network across New Zealand. To promote, organise and teach Tamil language in New Zealand. Aren't they supposed to be learning English as their first language and communicating with English? Doing business with English? How can you do business with people if you don't speak English? So I think, you know, a lot of the funding is being spent on things that don't... They can do that within their own personal families and temples and things. Why do they have to draw on taxpayers' funding to learn their language? Can't they teach that to their children and other people coming in? This is what I'm questioning. To provide a base for Tamil and wider Indian youth to engage in sports, media and arts, to provide advice on employment. So they've got it all going on here. Okay, you've got the Aotearoa New Zealand Federation of Tamil Sangam Inc. Okay, so I see Aotearoa and I think, this could be one where they're partnering with the Māori. Okay, because they'll have that going on. You can bet your bottom dollar, okay, and I'm going to find out how many of the Maori organisations are actually having correspondence with all these ethnicities. I'd like to know these things. I'm going to do a bit of a deeper dive in on it. Okay, so we can follow their path. They're doing so well. They're becoming prosperous, and we're becoming broke. Okay, so we've got to follow in the same footpath as they do, and apply for the same funding for our cultural heritage, because there's nothing Pakeha except my page and the website I hashed together, the free website that I think John Tamahiri's trying to... Don't take me gospel for that. It was some John guy, a Maori guy, tried to get rid of my website, my page, and even rung my bank. And I just thought, oh, John, they couldn't give me his surname, and I just thought, who thinks they have the power to ruin people's lives in this country that would be Maori, named John, and that would have, like, the power of a mafia sort of guy, you know? And I'm thinking, John Tamahiri. Anyway, it was just a thought. The next one is the Basava Samedi, New Zealand. This is in Auckland. Basava Samedi of New Zealand works towards practicing Basava philosophy in our everyday life. Okay, so all day, every day is Basava. Okay. Basava Samedi centres are formed all over the world in order to emphasise Sharana philosophy. All the human beings are equal and live together in peace and harmony without making differences in caste, creed, race, social status, gender and religion. So here we are, we're going through this like directory of self-serving Indian people doing all their own thing, but they've got here as their objectives of the association. You know, they're all about Basava Samedi, but then they're saying, okay, living together without making differences in caste, creed, race, social status, gender and religion. But aren't they forming their cult? You know, aren't they? It's like these contradictions in these objectives, and the reason why they do this is to get the funding. Okay, so they're going to put all of their information together of what they're intending to do, and when you apply for funding, especially cultural funding, and I've looked into it, you know, there's a certain criteria. You have to use the funding for certain things, and you can't really go outside that boundary, which is fair enough. And if it's taxpayer funded in the country, if taxpayers in New Zealand are funding it, then it has to be something to do with us in that. So they're actually saying it in their objectives, but they're not really doing it, if you know what I mean. So that's sort of like a forked tongue thing going on there. I'm not trying to point out the negative, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what they're doing. Well, we want to do it too. And we want other people to get to know us, the majority. Okay, otherwise, honestly, we're just going to end up turning on people and not helping them or not wanting to connect with them. And eventually we'll just, you know, outnumber everybody, which we already do. And you know, we won't be able to be friends with other people. Okay, friendships are being broken, discussions are being shut down. If we have a concern, we get called xenophobic or Islamophobic, you know, or racist or white supremacist, you know. We've got so many labels. I just think there needs to be a bridge there. Okay, so the next one is BOP Rotorua Indian Association. So they've got the Indian Association in every city, okay, in some towns, so every city, promoting Indian events in Rotorua. Okay, so having events all the time. Events are expensive. Do you know how much it costs to put on an event? And the organisation, the people that are involved, and again, a lot of salaries are being paid, but not much done. Just lining the pockets of the rich Indian people here. Okay? So the Rotorua Indian Association, celebrating Indian culture and heritage and allow people to connect with Indian diaspora. They use this word diaspora a few times. And it's, you know, they use it to give you the illusion that they were shunted out of their country somehow and, we've got to adopt them in and look after them, and because they can't stay in their country for some reason. But we don't know of any wars that are going on in India apart from the conflict about the water between Pakistan and India. It's been going on for 50 years. But other than that, why are there refugees? No, it's because they're overpopulated, and the government in India has not concerned the people in their policies. They should have put a cap on how many children you can have, like China did. In fact, we might have to do that here. This is what I'm saying. If the Pakeha get more into power and we start bringing Christianity into the things, Christianity is an intelligent, wise faith. Okay, you've got to think about prosperity and being equal and everybody having a voice. Okay, you've got to listen to people and not judge them. And everybody has to have an equal amount of media in New Zealand. We don't have any. Pakeha don't have any media. Indians have got a lot. Everybody else has got media. Okay, except us. Anyway, carrying on. The next one is the Bharatiya Samaj Charitable Trust. This one. Something in... What does that say? It says unity in diversity. Okay. So far these people haven't been very diverse. But they say it because they have to put across that they are including like other people as well, because that's what the funding's for, right? Excuse me. Okay, so what is their objectives? To work responsibly to ensure people of the community are benefited by fostering healthy relations among all members and catering to the social, cultural and emotional needs of these groups, especially young children, who hold the future for a better tomorrow. Okay, so this is Indian people, the Bharatiya Samaj people, charitable trust for them. Okay. The next one is I'm sorry if I'm not saying these words properly. Okay, I don't mean to, I'm trying. The Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, New Zealand. All of these entities, I believe, have high salary. From the funding, they're taking a high salary for themselves, and everybody else is volunteering. That's what I think. This one fundamental purpose is to preserve for the posterity the unsurpassed and indisputable beauty of Indian culture, art and heritage. Okay, so these people are enjoying celebrating their culture. The beauty of Indian culture, art and heritage. Okay, and that's what we want to do. But we're not being allowed that. We're being beaten down and told that you can't celebrate your culture. You don't even have a culture, a lot of people say to us. You're cultureless. The Maori people say it a lot. It's one of their strong ones. You're cultureless. What is the culture of Pakeha? I'm like, this kind of thing is like, we need to explore why people are thinking like that. Could it be because our culture is being swept away? Well, yes, that's one reason. It's not being promoted, funded, yes. The odd thing is, but mostly, like the Irish club that I am affiliated with, they do most of their own funding. So maybe they get a little bit, but, I think, they're just trudging on with the Irish people that are interested in celebrating the Irish culture and doing those events and meeting up at those clubs. I'd like to know how much they're funded in comparison though, and I don't think that there's as many Irish clubs as there is Indian. So the next one is the Bihar Jharkhand Sabha of Australia and New Zealand. Okay, so they have regional connections, and they also have international connections. Okay, so with this one, the objectives is working towards nurturing cultural heritage of India in general, and Bihar in Jharkhand Jharkhand in particular. Also to preserve, uphold, foster and promote the Lingo socio-cultural heritage, whatever that means. Okay, Tamil speaking communities to, oh there we go, sorry. To show solidarity to and support humanitarian causes relating to Tamil speaking communities. To help and assist any community or relief organisation. See, they did it again. To get the funding, they have to say that, and they'll do this with others. Okay? So, they're all about the Tamil speaking communities, all about them, all day, every day Tamil. Alright? But we'll also help and assist in any community or relief organisation. Well, who wouldn't? I mean, okay, sure, there's an earthquake. Everybody's going to come out and help. But, oh, we're helping as the Indian community. No, you're just helping as a person. You know, but, I mean, what about if we said, oh, we're coming out to help as Pakeha, you know? Do we need to really bring race into everything? And this is why we're bringing Pakeha into it. Because everyone else is. And this is why people are finding it hard to cope with and to understand that there's a Pakeha movement, the silent majority. Hello! We still exist. We're native, most of us. We're native, we have native rights, and we don't get a cent. We don't get a cent, we don't have airtime or clan trust organisations at all. There's no Pakeha organisations. It would be considered racist. And this is where we want to break the barrier through, and we want to fit in and have some equality in that. Okay? That's what we're saying. You're saying it. We want the diversity too. We want to be involved. You're not involving us, you're shunning us. So this is where we need to build a bridge, like I said before. Okay, the next one is community panchayat. I can't read them all, it'll take too long. But you'll get the idea soon. To help people to integrate and play their rightful and meaningful role in our New Zealand society, to guide them to be law-abiding, conscientious members of the community in their practices and roles in society. That's a good one. That's community panchayat. I like them. We could work together with them for sure. Central Districts Indian Association. How many Indian associations do you need? Palmerston North, to promote, conserve and advance the interests and welfare of Indians residing in Palmerston North. The self-serving, themselves employing their own kind, being discriminate. It's like, this is not the Kiwi culture. It isn't. We've never been like this until now. All of a sudden, our country has got all these separatist groups, self-serving. It's like, it's not meant to be like that. And we also blame the government for the mass immigration that's made it like that. And they've been emboldened and funded to do it, set up to do it. And we've been left out. We've never been set up by the government, us Pakeha, with anything. We'd like to have Pakeha TV, and that way we can make other ethnicities more aware of what we're all about. Okay? And how cool we are. Okay? How cool we are. So the next one is Central Districts Indian Association, another Indian association, Palmerston North, promote, conserve, around the, all the Indians around the Woodville, Martin, Fielding, Bulls, Levin area, Foxton and all of that, okay? So they got their regional help. No wonder they flood here, because they're all set up. All set up. What's the next one? Christchurch Indian Association, same thing. Okay. Canterbury Indian Tamil Association, primary goal is to help and support the Tamil community. Cultural Association, promote Indian culture in the community. The country section, New Zealand Indian Association, first incorporated in 1926. That's nearly 100 years ago. It's the anniversary next year, and that'll be another big event that they want funding for. And starting organisations like the New Zealand Indian Central Association and New Zealand Sikh Society. That's another one. The Sikhs get funding too. It is an affiliated branch of nationwide umbrella body. I mean, God, we've got so many umbrellas, and honestly, it's not even raining. Boy, oh boy. New Zealand Indian, which has about 10 other affiliated branches, like a big tree, branching out, and we're just sitting in the shade of it, wondering where our sun is. And we've got a little bit of dappled filtered light coming through, and it's like, hello, we're still here, you know. Give us some more sunlight. We want to shine again. Wow, over the last 88 years, we've been fighting for the rights of Indian in New Zealand. Oh God, I mean, fighting for the rights of Indians. I mean, they've got all of this. What rights do they need? What more rights do they need? What more do they want? I just don't get it. It's the same with the Māori. Us Pakeha, we look on and think, what more do you want? You went from cannibal to Hollywood in 150 years, and you're still saying we're trying to exterminate you? I don't think so. You know, so, you know, we're looking and watching, and we're going to react to this, and we're mobilising, and we're not going to take this anymore. Okay, I'm going to keep following through. The next one is the Devbhoomi Association of New Zealand. You know, they've got all Indians president. They've all got a president. A president? Okay, it must be a company, is it? I don't know what's going on here. I just don't understand it all. It's just like a plethora of a network, like a web, a machine. And that's what the other cultures have created too, like a machine. The Asians do it too. They're just all buzzing around like, my God. They're intelligent, they're hard workers, but it's like they're going so fast, you know. You know, we just want the old life back. We want a little bit of our horse and cart in the street again. You know, and grandma's, you know, shepherd's pie, and all of that sort of thing. We want to have our costumes back. You know, we want to be funded for shows and things. We've got new songs, new books, and we've got a new parihaka to do as well. So, yeah, we've got Christianity to get back into the community. We want God back. You know, so all of these other religions are coming in, and they're making sure that all of their children are going to be stuck right in that religion. Okay, they're not going to be assimilating and integrating. And we have to bust it up somehow. And ease. I've got some solutions. They're peaceful solutions. I'm very good at negotiating. I'm a bit like a Trump, to be honest. It's just amazing what I mean, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but it's amazing what I come up with after prayer. You know, God just gives me things. He's given me so many ideas. He's always done it. I've always been connected with God. The Devbhoomi, to promote Indian culture and grow the friendship between Kiwis and Indians. Now that's a good one. Here we go, all of a sudden, somebody's mentioning friendship with Kiwis. You know, that's an isolated occasion. Really is. So what's that? The Devbhoomi Association of New Zealand, which is in Wellington. Good on you, we could work with them. We could show the rest of them stop being so racist. Okay? And we'll work with the Devbhoomi Association, and they want to grow the friendship between Kiwis and Indians. Good on you, we're going to work with you. I wish the Maori iwi would do that. Oh, we're going to start maybe getting friends with Pakeha again, because you know what, they're voting us out now. Got to think about it. Okay, we're coming for you. We're not taking it anymore. Okay, we've got some substandard things going on. We just, you know, we can't even buy our marzipan in the supermarket anymore for our traditional Christmas cake. Okay, we want our marzipan back. Yeah, we want our traditional values and ways of life and well-being, for people's well-being. There's too many people on the streets with mental health problems. What's the next one? You've got the Dunedin Tamil Society. How much Tamil do we need? Community organisation to foster understanding, friendship and goodwill among, I thought it was going to be in Kiwis, but the Tamil-speaking community, of course. In Dunedin, built on the 3 pillars of Tamil, language, literature in music and drama. Oh, I love that. That's great. We love literature, music and drama, especially me. I'm dramatic. All my friends are just, they know me. They know what I'm like. I've always been like that. I was born jumping, and when I was 5, I knew the world was upside down. I did. I knew the world wasn't a spinning globe at the age of 5 years old, because I came out of kindergarten, right, and they show you the physical nature of water. You learn it, and all of that, and you learn what it's like to play and with water and sand and different elements. Then you get to school and you've got this, spinning globe on the teacher's desk, and they get you to spin the toy, and I'm like, that's impossible. We're not spinning, and you can't be upside down. I was just like that. I questioned, and I got into a lot of trouble, and I'm still questioning. So here we go. We're getting to the objectives of the Dunedin Tamil, which is basically for Tamil people. Okay? To provide social support and networking opportunities for New Zealand migrants and New Zealanders who are Tamil-speaking people, or identify as people of Tamil culture, whatever that is. Okay, the next one is ECTA, New Zealand Inc. Incorporated, has a president, facilitators, and all of those management people getting high salaries. Okay, to empower Indian diaspora. There's that word again, diaspora, with the impression that we've had to come here because we just can't be where we were, and you need to accommodate us. And sorry about that, but we've got to be here. But we're going to just go and do our own thing anyway. It's like, I'm sorry I see it like that, but it's true. When you're looking on at it, when you're doing it, you don't care. But when other people are looking on, you don't think we don't see. We're very observant people, but we stay quiet. We don't make a ruckus and protest other people. We just do it the intelligent way. And we're going to have it changed. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You either change it yourself, or we're going to bring down the sledgehammer on it. Okay, we're going to bring the laws of God in, and it has to be equal. Okay, you used to have to employ all kinds of different people, and now you guys are not. Okay, we're still employing different people. It's just you aren't. Okay, I'm pointing it out, correcting you. So the 3 pillars, and I like that. I like the drama and music. I'm dramatic and I'm musical. To provide social support, Rauti Vara Tamil. ECTA New Zealand, empowerment Indian diaspora and new migrants through knowledge and awareness, and facilitate better understanding between New Zealand residents, which is us again. I think they're mentioning us. Are they? Are we being mentioned? New Zealand residents? Is Pakeha New Zealand residents? And the Indian diaspora. Again, living and working in New Zealand. The diaspora. What's the next one? Fiji Indian Association. Okay. To unify Fiji Indians. Let's get them together instead of assimilating, integrating. Let's get them all together into a little cult in Wellington. And they say they want to integrate them with the New Zealand community at large. That's us. That's what we get called. The community at large. The majority out there, the others. Those ones that we have to cope with, the Pakeha people. Between New Zealand residents and the Indian diaspora living and working in New Zealand. The next one, Fijian Indian Association. To unify Fijian Indians in Wellington and integrate them. Rauti Rā. To partner at all levels of the New Zealand political and social spectrum. See, they want to get into politics, all these people, and they are. And because they've got a network and a machine, they're all voting for Indian people. This is what I'm saying about the racism and the discrimination and the nepotism and the self-serving. And it's impacting us. We're missing out. And it's like we're feeling like, hey, wait a minute. You can't just come here and do that without having some backlash and concern. Okay? It's not Islamophobia. It's not racism. It's none of those things. And if you keep saying it is, the discussion is going to shut down, and it's going to get worse and worse, And it's not going to be sustainable for you to carry on in that way. I'm telling you now, it's just not going to be sustainable. Okay, so these immigrants coming to New Zealand, connecting with all of these organisations and being set up and assisted, and somebody's wiping their bum, how is that going to help them to integrate and just, you know, be self-determined? Where is this self-determined agenda that apparently came in? The only people that seem to be self-determined is us. Everybody else is in a cliquey little cult group being trained and mind controlled. That's what they're doing. Let people be a little bit more free. Okay. To increase the spiritual, political, social and economical strength of Fijian Indians. What's the next one? Global organisation. Oh God, here's the global again. I just was talking about the globe just before, right? It's the global organisation. The globalists. They're the problems. They're the problem. As soon as you realise you don't live on a spinning globe, your eyes will be opened and your whole world will change. Okay, and all of the hoaxes and scams and frauds will just be opened before you. Okay, if you get the mother lie, you'll get all the others. Alright, that is what I'm saying. So this global organisations of people of India origin, see, they've got a global cult as well. I mean, they're doing the right thing. They're doing good business for themselves. Okay, they're doing good business, but with inside that there is a fundamental streak of Islamic threat that we're also worried about and we want to inquire about, so we can feel peace of mind about having those people here. We want to make sure that our government and our police are actually investigating, inquiring into any threats or people that should be on a watch list. We want to make sure that our country stays safe, okay, and peaceful, stays, and also economically viable. That's a big problem. The economy is not good, okay, for general everyday New Zealanders. So the GoPO global organisation, it says it's non-partisan. None of this is non-partisan. Okay, it's partisan. But they say non-partisan. Why do they say it? Well, it's a strange word to put in objectives, to say, oh, we're actually non-partisan. Why do you even mention it? Is it because you are? Okay. Secular, okay, so there's no religion involved in that, which a lot of people, Indian people, probably just are secular and they're not into the religion. Fair enough. Engage in prompting the well-being of people of Indian origin. Okay, so whether you're religious or not or whatever, they're going to promote your well-being and however they can, enhancing cooperation and communication between Indians living in different countries. Okay, so they're connecting Indian people with other Indian people around the world, and there's another one in there, it's in Auckland. Okay, the next one is work is worship. Gujarati Samaj, New Zealand. To preserve, maintain and promote Gujarati culture, language and heritage. Rah, 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 rah. This goes on and on and on and on. All Indian people as presidents and running it all, vice presidents, and I mean, what sort of work do they, how much of this do they need? Promoting cultural harmony to foster understanding between Malayalees and other cultures in New Zealand. Well, where are you doing that? Where is the understanding? You're not understanding us. We don't even know who you are, Kiwis Samajan. I mean, I don't, yeah. They're just doing their own thing. They're saying that they want to foster these things, but they're only saying it to get the funding, because it's on the objective sheet, you see? The objective sheet, which they need to, you know, nobody's monitoring them or following up saying, hey, what exactly are you doing with the money, and are you following within the bounds of the criteria? Hamilton Kerala Summer Jam. Summer Jam. Reminds me of a 1970s festival. The Summer Jam. Are you coming to the Summer Jam? You're going to Sweetwaters. Okay, to promote communal harmony and to foster understanding between Malayalees and other cultures in New Zealand, to preserve, maintain, promote, foster and encourage the cultural identity and traditions of Malayalis. In New Zealand, to promote and educate Kerala native language. They're doing a lot with this language. They need to be learning English well, and if they want to learn their native language, that's fine, but the taxpayers aren't going to pay for it. We don't get any of this funding, and a lot of that taxpayers is Pakeha people. Okay, we're not getting any of that funding. We're not allowed to get it. It's ridiculous. We're paying for it, and we're not allowed to get it. Okay, I've looked at those registers. And I looked down at all the people that can have the cultural project funding and events and all that sort of thing. And everyone in the world is included, except the UK. You know, the Irish, the Scots, the English, the Welsh. I mean, how sick is that? If you're continental Europe, yes, you can receive funding. So if you're from Hungary or Croatia, you can have some funding. But not if you're from the UK. And we're the people that built this country and made this country great and saved the Maori people. There's no honour for us these days, and we want to get that back. And we understand that we have a part to play in that, so that's why you have to work together with us. Okay? Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. This goes on and on, guys. Indian Association, Manukau, la 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 la, empowerment, creating the spirit of Indian people. Kanadana Karte to help Kanadigas. They've got Kanadigas here too. Okay, the Kanadiga recently arrived, residing and celebrate Kanadiga culture in Wellington. So we got a Kanadiga culture, because all of these other organisations are saying, come, 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 come. And they're flooding here. Because there's just far too many of these things set up with all these presidents and things. Linwood Islamic Charitable Trust, Christchurch. Linwood was the other mosque that was under attack that fateful day. They probably get big funding. They probably do, because Jacinda said that was white supremacy. See how we get attacked here? You know, some white guy shoots some Muslim people and it's white supremacy. But hold on a minute. Muslim isn't a race, is it? Is it? I know that a lot of Indians are Muslims, but I think there was a diverse lot of people in there, wasn't there? And Islam isn't a race. So why would our Prime Minister even fuel, you know, the supremacist view on us? I mean, that is just that's racism. And she was white. She is white. I mean, she was here. Thank God she isn't. But she's white, and she's just a white guilted, self-loathing traitor. She was. She called us white supremacists, and that's not healthy for us, because we're already suffering persecution enough. Thank you very much. We want the Indian people to understand that we suffer persecution here, okay? We believe we're being oppressed and our voices are not being heard. We don't have any of this sort of thing here. You come here and you get funded it. It's not right, okay? We're saying something about it. We've got a valid point to make. So at the Linwood Mosque, they teach Muslim children how to read the Quran by their dedicated committee, which probably gets paid. The next one is the Multicultural New Zealand Federation. Wow. Ooh, that's heavy. It's a federation. Oh, of multicultural councils. Oh, yes, that's what Pakeha want, a council. We need one of those. So there's a federation of multicultural councils. Well, I wonder if we're involved in that. No, of course we're not. Why? Because we don't have a council, and that's why we need one. All right? And I know I've gone over an hour, and I've said that I'm not going to do long bits, but I'm going through this. I'm just going to flick over now. The Mana Andre Telugu Association. These ones are connected to the Maori for sure, because it's got Mata Aotearoa on their little logo there. See? Mata Aotearoa. You can see that. Oh yeah, the Maoris would have had their connection with them all right. They would have been telling them how bad we are. They don't have any objectives. I don't know why they haven't put their objectives down. That's funny. Every other slot has had a description of what they do except that one. And you know why they've left it out? Because it's to promote and foster the relationship between the tangata whenua and the Tamil Mahasamajam. Yeah, that'll be all in Auckland, you see. The next one is New Zealand Kannada Kuta. To unite Kannadigas under one roof, promote the culture and languages of Karnataka, the state of India. So it's a special state in India where they get persecuted or something, I don't know. They're coming here too. Okay, they're setting up their own little Karnataka here. The next one is the New Zealand Telugu Association. Okay, another president. New Zealand Telugu Association was established in 1998 with an intention to maintain the culture of Telugu people in India. Telugu is one of the largest spoken regional languages in India. So there you go, instead of learning Tareo, we can learn Telugu. So we know what they're talking about, and they can employ us then if we speak Telugu. We could get employed by the Indians. Let's learn Telugu. Oh, Telugu. No, I'm not making fun of you, I'm serious. I'm not making fun, okay? I'm just having, I'm dramatic and I'm satirical and I have a bit of parody and a little bit of comedy, okay? I love everybody. The Telugu, I'm just having a laugh, that's all. Telugu is one of the largest spoken languages. No, I'm absolutely serious. I'll learn Telugu. I don't want to learn Tareo. That language is being bastardised and weaponised against us, but I'm okay to learn Telugu. NZTA has been registered under the New Zealand Societies Act as a non-profit organisation. See, so most of them are non-profit to serve the Telugu-speaking people living in New Zealand, and it might be me soon. If we learn Telugu, see, they'll have to serve us. See, that's how we do it. That's how you integrate and assimilate. You have to do a little bit of their culture, and they do a little bit of ours. Okay, that's how it works, and that's what we're working towards in the Pakeha movement. We're building bridges, okay? We're burning some stuff too. You know, we're burning it in the spirit, because that's where we work from, in the spirit and intelligence. So they are under the New Zealand Societies Act to serve the Telugu people. Cultural Social Development. Probasi Bengali Association of New Zealand to uphold, promote the rich cultural heritage of Bengal. And there's so many, oh my God. There's so many. The association conducts cultural, socio-religious events throughout the year. Particular attention to the youth. Yeah, they have to get, you got to get to the kids. Yeah, we've got to get to our kids too. And teach them our culture, faith, flag and family. The Christian, Tikanga Christianity, Tikanga Karaitiana, is the founding faith of New Zealand. That's why we have a great country. So youngsters born and brought up in New Zealand, okay, and stay in touch with their roots. So even the ones that were born in New Zealand, they want the Indian people to stay in touch with their culture and their roots. Good on them. Yeah. The Jaya Mahatma Gandhi Birthday Commemoration Committee of New Zealand. They got a committee, a Gandhi birthday celebration. There's a chairman of that. The celebration of Mahatma Gandhi birthday outside railway station in Wellington. Rupa or ARP. The organisation's primary objective is to provide counselling, meditation, legal support, immigration support, elder abuse awareness, networking, ongoing personal individual services, educational informative workshop, crisis intervention to the families, men, women, children, elder, free of cost. They do a lot. Do we need this many? And they say it's all free of cost. No, it's not. We're paying for it. Nobody's thanking us. They are not thanking. You know, even in their spiel and everything, oh, thank you. No, no. They're just getting along with it and just keeping us out of it. Everywhere you go, there's a lot of changeovers of positions in all the retail stores and the malls and things. Always, you know, somebody comes in for a while and then some other young person has a go at learning that and they must get shifted around. It's like a it sort of like reminds me of a sushi train. You know, where the sushi train goes around, but it's actually young Indian people wanting a job, and you know, they just pick one and slot them into a place. We're not getting a look in, our Kiwi kids. Okay, we have a concern about that. The Rapa Art organisation provide counselling and all of that sort of thing, and social services, and also South Asian community, which is marred with inequality and violence. Okay, so there's a South Asian community that they help that particularly suffers inequality and violence in India. It's a charitable trust, and it also focuses on reducing discriminations, remove barriers, create equal opportunity and participation. That's what we want too, isn't it? We'd like to have that too. We align with a lot of what these people are doing. We're going to do it for ourselves. South Canterbury Indian Cultural Society, promoting Indian community living in South Canterbury through social and cultural activities. They love the social activities because they want their kids to come together and get married and have Indian babies. All right? Okay? See, we didn't do that, the marrying the Pakeha. We bred together and had babies, and we're going through this separatism now, and it's dividing families, and people are feeling like they have to take sides because they've got half and half Maori and Pakeha. It's been going on for a couple of 100 years, and now it's like you have to identify as one or the other. Well, okay, I'm happy to identify as a Pakeha then. So that's the side I'm on. Shakti Community Council. Another council. It's why Pakeha have to have a council. Do you get it now, folks? Do you get where I'm going with this? I told you I knew what I was doing and I had it all planned out. Now I've got to prove it to you. What's happening in our community? We need to adapt, okay, to foster harmonious links between the Tamils and other sections of the New Zealand community. What does that mean? Other sections. Maybe it means us. Oh, are we being mentioned again? Oh, this is exciting. Sections and other sections of New Zealand community, that's us, to provide a forum to the younger generation to participate in literacy and cultural programs and to showcase their talents. Oh, it's not mentioning us, sorry guys. It's talking about the other Tamil sections of the society and connecting them together. These people are so busy, it's like ships passing in the night. Unless you work with people or go to school with people, they're with you there, but they're just Tamil every day, all day. Maori all day, every day. Islander all day, every day. This is what we're dealing with. The Shakti community is a non-profit organisation, okay, a council, serving migrant and refugee women of Asian, African and Middle Eastern origin. The Shakti community should be working with women of European origin too. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? Why can't you help us if we need it? No, it's specifically for them because they need it. Okay, fair enough. It supports women to overcome barriers that come with migration and intergenerational bonds of cultural oppression. Okay, so I think they're having a little bit of a dig there. Intergenerational bonds of cultural oppression. This is obviously, what, back in India or, yeah, India, Africa. Fair enough. Okay, the women in those countries are suppressed and they have cultural oppression. Yeah, they do. So we must help people under cultural oppression. Okay, so remember that. Okay. And remember that we're a culture too. Okay. So that's good. The next one is another Tamil society, Waikato. Oh my God, the Tamil people. Federation of Islamic Associations. To uplift the well-being of Muslim community, maintain the unity of the Muslim community. That's it for that. Muslim, all about Muslim. Maintain the unity of the Muslims. We've got to have them all together to promote, conserve and advance the interests and welfare of Indians residing in the Waikato region. Waitakere, dedicated groups for its members are Indian people, promoting and advancing the welfare of Indian residents. Hindu religion and Indian culture, to contribute to the educational, sports and cultural development of the Punjabi women and families of the Wellington region in accordance with their law in New Zealand. Okay, to promote the South Indian culture and tradition in the Wellington region through the three main pillars: language, music and drama. Okay, so they want to promote and also get other people to understand their religion and their beliefs and about their culture too. So they want to, they want you to understand them. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to get them to understand us, our identity and what we want and our interests. Pecuniary or financial gain is not the purpose of the association. Why would you need to say it? It's a non-profit organisation. It means that the management gets paid, but it's non-profit making. Why would you need to say pecuniary or financial gain is not the purpose of the association? Well, we know it's not. So why are you saying it? Are you saying it? Are you saying it because you're making a financial gain? Anyway, let's not be silly. Ambedkar Sports and Cultural Club, Auckland. Communities Action Trust to promote social development, multiculturalism through... Oh, they want to develop multiculturalism, but it won't include us. There'll be nothing in there for us. Arts, community services. We don't come under the multi... We're not a culture, apparently. I just feel like we're just invisible to the main. They want to do their own initiatives. They say they want to do projects for the social inclusion and well-being of diverse communities. But what they're talking about as diverse communities is brown people, usually. Okay? Indian people. The Indian Social and Cultural Club in Christchurch, created to keep alive the flame of Indian culture. Oh, how nice for you. Wish we could keep alive the flame of ours instead of seeing it eroding away, keeping our cultural identity in New Zealand. Good on you, we want to keep our identity too. Rādi, Fiji Association, New Zealand Fiji Families, Gujarati Padwa, Mahatma Gandhi Church, didn't they just have one? Asia Pacific Indian, oh my God. These people are what they've got the backdoor employment scheme, the Asia Pacific. They just place everybody in jobs. I've seen that one before. Migrant Career Support Trust. Okay, you come here, you want a career, we'll just put you into one. Is there any other country doing this for us? Because I want to go there. I want to have a rest. Get some work for a change instead of being on the benefit. Nobody wants to employ older white people. They don't think we've got any value. It's terrible, isn't it? Christchurch Bengali Association. Okay, look, there's the associations. There's just screeds of them. Look, that's 60, okay? Now you've got your Indian dance school, dance and music schools. It just goes on and on. Dance and music school, a place to learn. And everything like that. And of course they'll be teaching religion, theatre, play. They want them to do everything together. They don't want to include anybody else, and they shouldn't be getting this funding. Indian language schools. Now, you're supposed to be learning English, okay? You want to be Indian, go back to India. This is sucking us dry. We don't have enough money to fund all of these hundreds and hundreds of Hindi now. And there's a lot of Hindi stuff here. They're just promoting Hindi, Sanskrit, Hindi, Gujarati, all their languages, and they're just pumping their language, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that this is just too much. for us. Hindi, Hindi, Hindi. We didn't vote for this. Nobody campaigned on this. We keep saying we want the mass immigration to stop, and the government isn't listening to us. We don't have a Crown Relations Minister or a special board to we can talk to ministers. We've just been left out in the cold, and that's why we're raising up. Okay, Punjabi, Kannada, Hindi, schools and things. Okay, Hindi, Hindi, Hindi. Places of worship, spiritual organisations. I mean, they're building big buildings. Where are they getting the money for that? Yes, they might pay some things to the temple, but they shouldn't be drawing on our tax-paying funding if they've got enough money. And I think they need to be audited. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. You know, they're not thinking about the fact that we're Christians here, you know, and these false gods that these people have coming into our country and putting up their temples, and we consider that a threat. Okay? They don't care. Guru Dwara Sri Guru. Okay, this just goes on. You know, I'm just going all through these. It's just page after page after page. It just goes on. Look, 133 I'm up to now. Goes on and on. Supreme Sikh Society. Imagine if we called ourselves the Supreme Pakeha Society. These people are getting away with what we can't. And this is why I'm saying this is not our culture, guys. They're not supposed to be. This is not multiculturalism. This is infiltration. This is a strain on our infrastructure. This is watering down our national identity and our ways of life. Okay, the Christianity is supposed to be a big part of our community. It used to be, and it worked well, but now our community centres have been taken over by all of these other things, and us Pakeha Christians don't fit in anymore. Because it's just all woke, bloke and tribal trope, or religious, and that we can't be ourselves because Christianity is a threat or something. It's really weird. Supreme Sikh Society. Aren't they the ones that stood in had a rally in Auckland and stood on a stage with a microphone calling for the death of the Indian Prime Minister? Yeah, they did. Bellowing out there on their megaphones, calling for his death. Is this what we want in New Zealand? Why are we funding this, and why are we turning a blind eye and not talking about it? Auckland Sikh, Sri Balaji Temple Trust, Hamilton, all through Tauranga, Rotorua, everywhere they've got it, Sanatan Dharam. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. New Zealand Sikh Society South Island. And they've got president and organisers and, you know, just another whole bunch of people getting paid high salaries. You know, the really rich Indian people that are up there, and they start all these things and they just put them in and they just feed people. This is how the machine of the Maori people grew when the Waitangi Tribunal started. They got their tribunal, they got a whole load of money, and they got settlements as well later, but they got a lot of funding to begin with, and they just keep setting up organisation after organisation, and there's at least 4,000 just Maori exclusive organisations, and trusts and societies, and you name it. Every Maori's a digital creator now. He's got a radio in his garage. We don't get any of it. Okay, so we got something to say about that. Stop calling us privileged when you're the ones that are privileged. Indian ethnic media. They've got 24 media. They've even got TV waves. I mean, what does it take to actually get to be able to have a television network. I'm not sure about that. Could anyone tell me, if anyone knows how these ethnicities, Maoris, Islanders, all of these other ethnicities, managed to get a TV channel that's on the waves somewhere and has a station? How do they do it? Are they funded, and why don't we have it? It's about time we ask those questions. That's why people say we don't have a culture, because we are deliberately being left out, and that's what you call being disenfranchised, marginalised, suppressed and oppressed. Okay? So all you other ethnicities that are getting highly funded, stop saying we're privileged. Okay? Because it just doesn't wash with us anymore. Okay? All it is just you're just slinging at us, and you don't have a proper debate or discussion about it. Indian ethnic media, they've got it all going on. Indian Newslink. They have weekly newspapers, they have online news 24/7, they have radio, they have television. Look at this, Apna television. His name's Hussein, and it's a network, New Zealand. It's in English, Hindi and other state languages. It's television 24/7. Television 24/7! Tamil all day, every day. Welcome to the news tonight. We are expanding our network very quickly. You must come on board. I'm not being horrible, I'm just being funny. Okay, you've got the Punjabi news, print weekly, online news. It goes on and on. Okay, alright. And in the end here, it's got an artistic impression of the High Commission's upcoming building in Wellington. That's their big building they're going to have, their big cultural centre, headquarters. Where's our Pakeha Cultural Centre? All our colonial institutes have been usurped and taken over. Everything's being decolonised by the Maoris. We're having our data, our history decolonised. Everything's being tampered with and destroyed, and our name is being dragged through the mud. Rah-de-rah-de-rah. While we're watching all these other cultures have a great life here in New Zealand. You know, we want you to have a great life here in New Zealand, okay? But we want to have our slice of it too. Okay, that's what we want to do. We want to do what you're doing. We never wanted to before, but we do now, and I think we need to. Okay, I'm just having a ciggy and a bit of a drink. I've basically finished going through that. Now I'm just going to say a few other things before I go. I know it's been an hour and a half, and I haven't made a long video like this for a while, but you can listen to it in increments, or while you're doing your housework, or, you know, making your cabinet in the garage. You can listen to it as you're doing your work. Okay? So basically, you know, we feel like there is a great replacement going on, and that these other cultures really aren't considering us as much as they should. But we would be happy to partner with some of them that really do want to build a bridge between us and have some awareness going on. I believe that within the religious Indian places that they need to identify any terror cells or threats of Islamic terrorism, you know, to keep our country safe. I hope they're working together with the police, because, you know, New Zealand is considered part of the Commonwealth. Okay, so you have to respect the fact that, and that's not the Commonwealth of England, by the way. We have a link with the monarchy because we have a Westminster construct. We have an economic link with the USA. okay? And we have a religious link that goes back to the Commonwealth of Israel. Alright, so New Zealand's a great place because of the Commonwealth of Israel, and we brought life to New Zealand, and we feel that we've got a great story of our past to tell too. We want to celebrate colonialism, we want to preserve our heritage, and excuse me, we want our people to come together, to unite and form a Pakeha Council. So I will put my email in the comments below. I'll also put our website link. I've just hashed together a free website. It's got no features on it. It's just ideas and info. If anybody's out there that's skilled, that's aligned with our cause, that's skilled to create a website or digital creations, we'd love to get some branding done. We've got some ideas, but we want to bring some heads together. If there's anyone that would be willing to volunteer or to sponsor our branding and marketing, I think that's going to boost us to a quantum level. We don't have any funding, okay, but once we get going and we form an organisation and a council and we have some branding and a good website and we market ourselves really well, we're going to have an event in February the 5th in Auckland, if anybody's in Auckland and wants to come to a colonial barn dance to celebrate New Zealand Day. While the Maoris are up there moaning and whinging, capturing and gatekeeping Waitangi Day, abusing our MPs when they go up there and not letting Pakeha talk, and they're not even letting the Christian Kaumātua talk anymore. Their Waitangi Day is dead and gone. We need to bring New Zealand Day back. I'm not making a date for New Zealand Day forever, and this is all open to anybody's ideas and info. But I've had people say that we should bring New Zealand Day back. Okay, so the question would be, should we have it on the 6th of February? Not in Waitangi, but somewhere else, like in Auckland? Or should we have it some other day in the year where we can celebrate colonial New Zealand? Okay, how it started. And it's the greatest, it's the most romantic story, honestly, and it just never gets told. We want to celebrate the good and rich of our culture like everybody else's, and we're tired of hearing all the negative stuff, and most of it's lies anyway. And we're coming after that as well. We're coming after the racism, we're coming after the lies, we're coming after the twisting of the treaty, we're coming after it all. Okay, and we've got intelligence, we've got a plan, and we're mobilising. So we want Pakeha to come on board, especially those who are descendants from ancestors from the 1800s or even the 1700s, because we're filing a couple of documents, all right? We can see what Pakeha need, and we're going to do it. And, you know, there's not much a queen can't do. That's why I'm the Pakeha Queen. I'm at your service, and I am going to achieve what you want me to do. I need your help, your support, and I need funding as well. If there's any rich people out there or philanthropists that want to talk to me and have a look at our proposal and our marketing plan and what our strategies are and our objectives, how feasible it is, my background and the people that have come on board. If you want to see that and you want to invest in the Pakeha movement and you want to see us advance, let me know. Okay, good night for now. See you next time.